From unbelievable crashes
comes Alonso.
to unforgettable races.
And Häkkinen takes the lead.
And yep, you won't believe this, but a grid that basically destroyed itself on the last lap.
And there's a crash at the back of the field, into the wall goes.
Melbourne isn't just any F1 circuit. These are the wildest moments of the Australian GP. And what better way than to start with the 2023 GP? Honestly, that race was one of the best I've ever seen there. Well, either one of the best or one of the most absolutely unhinged races ever. It had everything. The entire race was ruled by safety cars, and when I say the entire race, I mean literally all of it. 3 full safety cars, 1 virtual safety car, and why not, 3 red flags. At that point, the only thing missing was a safety car for the safety cars. But just when the race finally seemed more or less calm, with only 4 laps to go, Magnussen went wide coming out of turn 2.
That's a tyre carcass off the back of the house. That's Kevin Magnussen.
And his tyre literally went flying. So of course out came the safety car again. And then 2 laps from the end, it turned into a red flag.
So for the second time this afternoon, because of debris on the track, race control have red flagged this race.
Yeah, you heard that right. A red flag with 2 laps to go. What kind of logic is that? Don't worry, you'll soon see why it was a terrible decision. Once the track was clean, the FIA said, you know what this race needs? A standing restart. And you know what happens when you take angry, hungry F1 drivers and throw them into a 2-lap sprint with nothing to lose? Obviously this.
Contact! Carlos Sainz spins Fernando Alonso around! A double podium or a race win absolutely evaporated. We've got another red flag. That should be the race over.
For fuck's sake. Was there ever any other possible outcome? The FIA threw out the red flag again.
Red flag, red flag, red flag.
The 3rd one. Alonso got absolutely smashed by Sainz. The Alpines obviously self-destructed. And now the FIA had to decide whether to restart the race again or just end it. And while the FIA was busy having a meeting inside their own heads, Alonso already knew exactly what they had to do while sitting in his car right after getting hit by Sainz.
Stupid rule. How the hell you can put a red flag before?
I honestly don't understand how this man processes things so fast. It's ridiculous. Meanwhile, Sainz would not stop complaining, watching his entire race slowly go down the drain.
Carlos Sainz has got a 5-second penalty and Pierre Gasly's out of the race.
Please, guys, do something, please. I cannot still believe it. We are P3 and P4. And they will put me out of the points for that.
And for once, the FIA actually made the most logical decision. Restart and end the race behind the safety car, using the order from the last red flag. So, despite the crash, Alonso would line up in P3, with Sainz out of the points after his penalty, and Verstappen and Hamilton in P1 and P2. I mean, have you ever seen a more chaotic and confusing finish than that? Because I haven't. The race made absolutely no sense. Zero. Nada. Just like if you're watching this video without being subscribed. So, do you really want to miss the best F1 videos? Anyway, let's jump to 2024, where the FIA once again said, don't worry guys, we've got this. And somehow Alonso ended up right in the middle of the mess again. Final laps. Russell is chasing Alonso. He's pushing like crazy until his car just says nope and smacks the wall.
Big crash. George Russell with a massive accident.
Red flag, red flag, red flag. I'm in the middle of a track.
Okay.
Red flag, red flag.
Red flag, you got Stroll.
Red, 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 red.
At first, everyone thinks, yeah, driver error, easy. But then, plot twist, the FIA decides it's actually Alonso's fault. Yeah, too clever. Illegal levels of intelligence. Apparently, slowing down in the right places now earns you a 20-second penalty. The FIA must have thought Alonso was Ocon or something, because that penalty was wild. What do you think? People might argue about it, but one thing's 100% true. The most violent season opener ever was 2002. Yep, right in the middle of Schumacher and Ferrari's iron grip, with the Montoyas and Raikkonens out there like WWE wrestlers. The race had so much going on. Raikkonen scoring his first podium and fastest lap on his McLaren debut. Toyota showing up in F1 for the first time, and Webber and Massa making their debuts. But honestly, the thing everyone remembers, the start, featuring the other Schumacher, Ralph.
Let's go! Fantastic start by one of the Benzos. Ralph Schumacher challenges Barrichello. Michael Schumacher's got a poor start, but Ralph is motoring into second place.
Ralph Williams goes airborne over the Ferrari like it's a stunt in Fast and Furious. Then the Williams slams into the barrier like it's just discovered gravity. And behind them, absolute chaos. 6 more cars got tangled up in the mess. It was like watching toddlers play bumper cars while blindfolded. Then came the absolute comedy. A bunch of drivers legged it back to the pits to take the restart after the red flag. Except, plot twist, there was no red flag. Oops. Race director Charlie Whiting decided to just cover it under the safety car, which meant the spare cars came out and suddenly the field was down to 13 runners.
Go, 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 Heinz, go, 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 go!
By lap 33, it was down to just 8. Why? Well, the Arrows duo of Enrique Bernardi and Heinz-Harald Frentzen got DQ'd for start infringements.
Early afternoon, I'm afraid you've got the black flag for leaving the pit, the red light's on.
Truly crashed.
I think, oh, and he's lost it. Truly's lost it on the exit.
Villeneuve's wing broke, and Coulthard's gearbox joined Sato's electronics on the Departure Lounge Express. Meanwhile, the underdog and local driver Mark Webber somehow found himself in an amazing P5.
And watch the grandstand. Webber punches the air. The grandstand stand. Yes! Advance Australia fair. You've done it, boy. Fair dinkum. Mark Webber finishes in 5th place.
Probably wondering what he'd done to deserve this. While Schumacher, the one which didn't go to the moon, just strolled to the win. A completely bonkers race. Seeing a car go over another car without a halo gives you chills, right? Then Alonso, who looks like he survived 400 horror movies in Melbourne, was like, hold my beer in 2016. Lap 17 and Alonso was glued to Esteban Gutierrez's Haas. Down the second straight, DRS open. Tucked in the slipstream, he went for the pass. But just as he was about to make the move at nearly 190 miles per hour, BAM! No fucking way. Alonso's McLaren was completely wrecked, flipped upside down and looking really, really bad. After a few seconds of pure shock and terror, Alonso climbed out on his own. Incredible. I mean, accidents like this don't happen every day. He went straight into the wall. The front tires got stuck under the car, and at that speed, the thing basically became a flying, spinning missile in the gravel. Alonso and Gutierrez were both okay. Alonso walked away with just a collapsed lung and a broken rib, and missed only one race.
I want to be out quite quickly and say that I'm okay, but it was quite a big one.
Honestly, it is a miracle that he even walked away from that. And since we're talking about miracles, we have to talk about 2009, when F1 pulled off one of the biggest, wait, what moments in history. That year was total chaos. Big regulation changes, cars suddenly looking thinner and taller, and absolutely nobody had a clue who nailed it and who had completely messed it up. One of the biggest question marks was Brawn GP. After months of uncertainty, endless talks with the FIA and other teams, and somehow buying Honda for the price of basically a Tesco meal deal at just £1, Ross Brawn's team barely managed to roll a car onto the track at Albert Park on March 29th. After all that drama, no one expected anything from a team with a dodgy livery and 0 sponsors. But what happened on Saturday at Albert Park was straight up ridiculous.
He knows the time to beat.
Well, they're playing P1.
They were supposed to be stuck at the back of the grid, not taking pole by more than 6/10 over the best team. And the race just confirmed what we'd already seen in qualifying.
Now going to take victory in Melbourne. Jenson Button crosses the line, takes the checkered flag. Jenson Button's a winner again. Brawn GP are winners on their first race appearance, and not only that, it's a 1-2 finish.
And just like that, one of the most surreal seasons ever kicked off, with a completely random team dominating the first part of the year and winning both championships. Later on, their secret was revealed. But hey, that's another story, one I actually tell right here. The following year, 2010 lived up to the hype, with Button still in the show again. From start to finish, it was non-stop action, overtakes,
Hamilton coming up the inside of Button.
and chaos everywhere. It all kicked off with rain making a dramatic entrance. The first chicane, total chaos.
They're out now, and Vettel's away gingerly but ahead. Alonso's going backwards as Button seems to come through on the outside. Can we come together? There's a spin there with that Alonso going round. Schumacher comes through as well, tapped a little bit there by.
Alonso made contact with Button, spun and dropped all the way to P22. Then tons of cars sliding. Schumacher also caught up, creating a chain reaction. Then on the next corner, Kobayashi went off and took Hülkenberg with him.
See that at all, Kamui Kobayashi there. Oof,
So Kobayashi's front wing was off, not for the first time this weekend.
The safety car came out with Vettel leading, followed by Massa and Webber, but the madness didn't stop there. Once the race restarted, Vettel tried to pull away, while Alonso, Hamilton and Schumacher were climbing through the field like it was a video game.
Here's Alonso. Here is Schumacher. Making his way through. Here's Hamilton then coming down on the inside of Rubens Barrichello.
By lap 10, the rain was teasing everyone. Button went first and threw on slicks, even though the track was still slippery.
Ended the pit lap time there, and slicks for Button. He's the first man to get brave. A tweak of front wing as well.
He slid a little in the first few corners, but the guy's a world champion for a reason, and soon he was carving his way through the pack.
2.5 mile circuit coming through on the inside, and he's got him.
And wouldn't you know it, the gamble paid off perfectly. The rain didn't get worse, and Button was off to the races. Then Vettel had a mechanical problem and crashed out, leaving Button in the lead.
Sebastian Vettel is out. Sebastian Vettel's in the gravel. They cheer in McLaren because Jenson Button is now leading.
But the surprises kept coming. Kubica was second, Massa third, and Alonso, yes, Alonso, had clawed his way up to P4 in one of the most insane comebacks ever. With just 2 laps to go, Hamilton and Webber were stuck right behind him until, well, this happened.
And then Webber comes through now, there's been a collision. It's Hamilton and Webber.
That's how Hamilton ended up in P6 and Webber in P12, while Button snatched an epic win.
Jenson Button makes it another Australian Grand Prix victory.
His second Aussie GP in a row, with absolutely nobody betting on it. One of the most thrilling races ever at Albert Park. If nobody saw 2010 coming, at least it was a nice surprise. But what went down in 1998? Yeah, that left everyone with their mouths wide open, and not in a good way. The 1998 Australian GP wasn't really a race against the whole grid. It was basically just Coulthard versus Hakkinen, with everyone else there for decoration. The McLarens were so stupidly fast in qualifying that a 1-2 finish felt guaranteed. And yeah, that's exactly what happened, just not in the way anyone expected. Mid-race, Hakkinen had a messy pit stop on lap 36, handing Coulthard a massive lead.
Hakkinen coming in for a second stop. It's earlier than I would have expected him to, and he's gone through. Presumably Coulthard's gone through. What's Mika up to? He obviously may have misheard something on the radio.
At that point, the win looked locked in, unless Coulthard's car decided to explode for no reason. But Mika wasn't done yet. He charged back, and by lap 42, the 2 McLarens had lapped literally everyone else on the track. Then things got weird. Coulthard was leading by 12 seconds, but suddenly he started slowing down. With 3 laps to go, that gap shrank to just 2 seconds. And then on the main straight, Coulthard basically pressed the pause button and let Hakkinen cruise past him for the win.
And Hakkinen takes the lead. Now that looked like a planned move to me, Martin. That was a deliberate move.
Everyone watching was like, excuse me? What the hell was happening?
And we just made a deal simply before the race that way the driver who's in the first corner when the race starts, that driver gonna win the Grand Prix. So there's not gonna be any fight.
Because honestly, I'd be pretty pissed if I'd watched the whole race thinking one guy was gonna win, only for someone else to win because they'd secretly agreed on it before. But the guy who really got screwed by something surreal was Juan Pablo Montoya in 2004. The Colombian had a, let's say, special personality.
You gotta either be blind or stupid to not see me, but you know, it's racing.
And that mixed perfectly with a completely bizarre moment when, during a press conference, he got asked this.
One of Formula One wonders, should Juan only win one Formula One year? Would Juan want to have won that one in round one, Juan?
But one of them would be in round 1.
And it just kept getting weirder.
Yeah, the racing car driver. How'd you know? Most people say the painter. Have you tried Ash? I can't play golf. I'm gonna press. Hey, I'll ask him. Can you play?
Right. Thank you very much.
Turns out it was actually 2 Australian comedians who had managed to sneak into the press conference. And the best part is, they picked the worst possible driver to mess with. Monty had absolutely zero patience for the press. This is the same guy that once lost it when the cameraman basically tried to crawl inside his skull with the camera. Yeah, better not get too close to him just in case, but what you can get close to is this video. I know you're gonna love it, and as always, thank you for watching.